Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday. Now check out Longshot here. This is a character that is definitely Prince Charming from Shrek, and as well, like, there's a little bit of detail which I even missed off my comic book history, but it is there, good nod to it, and it's that he has three fingers each side, as you can see very kind of closely there. Bit of a weird thing, but not weird from basically the fact that this character has been genetically created. It's even in some cases, I think he's got an extra thumb as a finger, so it's kind of like very strangely done. Anyway, enough about that. Let's try and talk about the champion, whether or not I think he's good, abilities and such like. Let's begin by talking about the signature ability. Now I will be playing over the top of this video little clips from time to time, and as well, like the start off one we're going to do is the Venom fight. So this one is in Act 5, and there's lots of buffs on offer, so we can actually showcase the signature ability working. Now 60% is a little bit small, it's not 100%, and we would love that to be 100%, but it's 60%, but still works a treat, especially for nullifying buffs. And as you will be able to see, there's an immense amount of damage on offer, especially when it hits off a nice tasty SP2, and then does a method of doing a heavy attack whilst the enemy's on bad karma. So what we're doing is we're putting lots of that instant incinerate damage in, which is so good. Obviously the name of the game with the champion is very simple, is that get 5 karma on the champion and it turns into a pure heart, which helps to what you can see from the special attacks. And that again is something to point out, and we will jump down to the special attacks now. As you can see, if pure of heart, after the 5 good karma has been put on the enemy, the first hit inflicts 7 instant bleeds, each deal 500 damage. This damage benefits from Longshot's critical damage multiplier. I mean, for me, and the way that I was playing the champion is with the SP2. From time to time I like to put in the SP1 just to see like what damage it was doing, but I wanted to put the SP2 in because that's where the spicy damage comes in. So as you can see here, the final hit inflicts Incinerate dealing 189.75 damage over 12 seconds. Do bear in mind that is subject to the fact that, well, you know, different rarities of champions will see different types of numberage here. But again, with that being on the enemy, whilst you're doing that, it's then a case of like you've then got some added little bits of bonuses, especially when you do heavy attacks and constant heavy attacks. So let's continue reading. While the Incinerate is active, as we've just read, the opponent is fate sealed, nullifying all buffs. This fate seal also removes bad karma, which is what we interworked with that Venom fight, which obviously I played out earlier. Each buff and bad karma removed by fate seal combusts and inflicts passive incinerates, dealing 1138.5 energy damage over 1 second. This damage benefits from Longshot's critical damage rating, max 10 stacks, which again is very important. Instead of inflicting Incinerate on the final hit, with the Incinerate triggers an activation of the attack with its expiry pause until the attack ends. So that's obviously pure of hearts there. I did try from time to time throwing in an SP3, but I didn't really kind of find that there was much point, especially when you're looking to kind of spam in as much as possible. Now, there probably would be some advantage to putting the enemy into a stun, so you could then reapply with a heavy attack and kind of like reapply damage, but I just felt that the SP2 was largely the best way to go down, and then start stacking in the heavy attacks to then, you know, put in more damage to the enemy. And obviously the main way that I played this with bad karma is that I was wanting to refresh with a heavy attack. And especially if you want to like constantly build up with things like building power, let's face it, bad karma, for each bad karma, Longshot gains 12% of power generated by the opponent. So again, that's helpful for then the SP2, which each buff and bad karma removed by fate seal combusts and inflicts passive incinerate, dealing X amount of damage for X amount of seconds. So yeah, that's obviously the reason that I was trying to do that, is build back up to the SP2 quickly, and then doing the SP2, do a heavy attack, blah blah blah. It's like rinse and repeat really with that. I know that there's better numbers if you have this champion with Suicide Masteries. That's just a personal thing of what I've seen. So far so good. I've actually had a lot of fun with this champion. He doesn't need to be awakened to be good unless you really want to do like the nullification stuff, but it is obviously 60%, especially with that unstoppable and blockable. And yeah, there could be some advantages to taking it against the champion in 6.2.6, or there could be some other ways and other types of fights. This type of dynamic, this champion, this very kind of quick burst damage could be effective for you, especially with stuff like ability accuracy and can't be reduced through the effect of debuffs. and his base ability accuracy being so high as well, it could have further advantages depending on what content you take it against. Yeah, a couple of fights with in Act 6, and seemed to be just quite a nice champion to use. Very, very fun. The burst damage is really nice. I would have loved to see what the damage output could be like as a 5-star, rank 5, and even a 6-star rank 2, or maybe in a potential option as a rank 3 in future. But yeah, very, very enjoyable champion. Obviously, I'll leave it up to people to kind of have their feel about this when the champion goes live and when you feel you might want to get him. But yeah, definite, like a little bit utility, a nice amount of debuff damage to boot. So yeah, there's some options to use this. No power control, but apart from that, Fate Seal, nullifying, has an aspect of utility. But yeah, like I said, it's damage through the debuffs that win overall. But like I said, thoughts in the comment section about this. And finally, don't forget to check out some other content that should be on screen now. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.